So this is a free virtual event series. You'll see on this slide the website for GoGoGrandparent if you want more information, as well as that 855 number, which you're welcome to call at any point if you have any questions about how GoGo works. Just a little review with this simple phone call to that 855 number. That will help GoGo connect you to rides and meals, groceries, medication delivery, as well as sort of home services and repairs, things like that. We do have a refer a friend program. So you can look sort of at the bottom of your GoGo receipt, and that'll have your referral code. You can use that code to share GoGo with a friend, and you'll get $10 credit and they will get $10 credit. So it's a little win-win just to share the love and get more people into our yoga classes. This is the Facebook group. Again, if you have a second to drop the link to that in the chat just so people can click it. It's just a great way to meet other members of the GoGo community and sort of find people in your geographic area and connect using that social network. Okay, so this is me. That's me. My name's Caro. I love teaching yoga. I find it really and I do want to make sure we all move at our own pace. So as I'm going through the class today, you get to decide how you move. So if I'm offering a stretch and it feels kind of I'm offering a stretch and you really feel that sensation for longer, taking things at your own pace. We are going to have about a 40-minute chair yoga class. And then after that, I'll leave some time for questions, sort of reflections. You're always welcome to share sort of how you feel after class or thoughts that may have arisen during our practice together. Maybe we will, okay, now we're being recorded again. Great. Just so that you feel sturdy and stable during our practice together. All right, let's go ahead and move. I'm going to stop sharing. And let's see. Here we go. Let's see. Great. So is everyone muted? Oh, we have people in the waiting room. Let's make sure we let them in. All right. So I'm just going to wait for the 3 people who were in that waiting room to join us, making sure everybody sort of gets in. We're waiting for Miss Chloe to join. Oh, even more people in the waiting room. Yay! Okay, here we go. All right, so I can see Mr. Jim and Mr. Stan as I move back. If you can just give me a thumbs up if you can still hear me all the way back here. Can y'all still hear me? Yeah? Okay, great. All right. So taking a moment just to make sure you are situated in your chair today. If you'd like to, you could sit back into your chair. So beginning your practice by welcoming the support of your chair if you want to. You may find that your legs would like to get comfortable, resting your hands. I'm going to be practicing barefoot today, but you're welcome to keep your shoes and socks on if that feels more comfortable and stable for you today. Looks like we have Sonia saying hi. Hi, Sonia. Awesome. Oh, so we'll just sort of start our practice getting comfy in our chairs, taking maybe a moment of gratitude for any sensations of comfort or relaxation you may be feeling right now. Oh, if you'd like to, you could close your eyes. Maybe using this as an opportunity to notice that you are breathing. We're certainly not sucking in our guts right now. So letting your belly get nice and big. Sometimes I call that my Buddha belly, nice and big and soft. Noticing what it feels like to breathe in and what it feels like to breathe out. Exploring, noticing sensations. You may feel your belly getting bigger as you breathe in, and maybe a sort of softening or letting go as you exhale for as long as you possibly can, breathing out for longer than you think is possible, and then breathing back in. Now, if you want to stay right where you are, focusing on your breath, you could do that for the next 40 minutes, and that would be a complete yoga practice, connecting your mind and your body, noticing what it feels like to breathe. If you're feeling that you'd prefer more movement, you could begin to find any sort of little instinctive movements in your fingers and your toes, maybe a little bit of circling our ankles or our wrists. If it feels interesting today, you could explore stretching your arms overhead, maybe even extending your legs, almost like you just woke up this morning and were about to get out of bed. On an exhale, you could plant your feet, bringing your arms down, maybe sitting all lengthening up through your spine. So, depending on what kind of chair you're in, you may find it useful to scoot forward a little bit, creating some space between your body and your chair. And maybe you start to lean or rock from side to side. So, this could be how we start adding in movement, leaning or rocking from right to left. All sorts of different sensations you may notice. Maybe a bit of a side stretch. Sometimes I even notice sensation down in my lower back as I move side to side, maybe even down into your hips. If you want to, as you lean to the right, you could look to the left. So that's adding a little bit of a spinal twist. And then as you lean to the left, you could look to the right so that we're sort of leaning to the left, looking to the right, leaning to the right, looking to the left. So what that will do is maybe bring some sensation into your mid back between your shoulder blades, possibly a bit of a stretch into your neck, starting to explore that feeling of a spinal twist, letting our spine articulate in a way maybe we haven't let it move today yet. You're welcome to continue that movement side to side, or for a little bit of a different sensation, you could come through what feels like neutral and perhaps begin to circle your torso. Now, you may find it helpful here to have your hands supporting you on your knees. You're always welcome to find a wider stance with your feet if that feels more supportive today. I'd love to invite you to sort of get creative or curious with this movement. So you could explore larger circles, finding your full range of motion, or you could explore coming back towards center, taking sort of smaller circles towards neutral, changing directions a few times. So we're really listening in here to see how our lower back, our hips are feeling. Depending on how you're circling, it's possible that each time you circle back, you may feel a slight engagement or some strengthening in your core or your abdominals, sort of waking up some of those deeper abdominal muscles as we circle. If you'd like to activate more in your core, you could take these circles with your hands on your hips. And what that will do is sort of remove that support we have with our hands so that our abdominals, our core gets to help us move around a little bit. And you may start to feel that a little bit differently. If you're holding your breath, this could be a moment to invite a deep breath in, maybe a long breath out. There's really no rush. So whenever you feel ready, you could lean forward any amount, bringing your hands or your elbows to your knees. So this is our first forward fold. I'm going to turn slightly to the side so you can sort of see what I'm doing here. Maybe you keep length in your spine, or you could sort of round forward, bowing your head. And you're welcome to try both of those, see which feels better for you. Maybe you want to come forward, bowing your head, or maybe you want to keep length in your spine, staying slightly lifted. Whichever one of those you're choosing, let's take a deep breath in and exhale out. From wherever you are in this moment, maybe you bring your elbows to your knees, lengthening a bit through your spine. Then we'll start to lean or rock side to side, almost like your heart or your chest is sort of drawn over towards the left and then drawn over to the right. What this may do is bring a stretch sort of into the side, lower part of your back on each side. Excuse me. All of the flowers in the world are blooming in Austin right now. So I am just sneeze city. I apologize in advance. So as you lean side to side, you have this option of taking a little bit of a spinal twist. One way to do that, as you lean over to the left, you could lower your right shoulder forwards and down. So we're sort of looking to the left. And then maybe you try that on the other side. You could lower your left shoulder forwards and down, maybe looking to the right. And then if you want to, you could take that from side to side. Maybe feeling some sensation of stretching in your mid back, sort of in your rib cage, your back. You may feel a stretch somewhere totally different. We'll start to come through neutral whenever you're ready. Maybe you push into your knees, lifting through your heart. Maybe you reach up to breathe in. And on your exhale, if you want to, you could circle your wrists, bringing your arms down, getting out any snap, crackle, pops that might be hiding in our wrist joints today. Let's inhale, scooping, lifting, reaching back up. This time, as you exhale, we're going to flick through the air. So really intentionally articulating through the joints of our fingers, strengthening our forearms. This movement really encouraging circulation all the way to each of our fingers. Let's inhale, reaching right back up. And let's exhale. If you want to, you could wiggle your fingers, sort of like we're playing that invisible grand piano all the way down. Once again, really intentionally articulating through our fingers, a sort of tentacle-like movement all the way down. Really strengthening through our hands here. Once you've arrived towards the bottom, you could shake out your hands a little bit. And if it feels inviting, you could swing your arms forwards and back. So if the chair that you're in has arms, or if this just doesn't feel comfortable today, you're welcome to skip this movement, or you could bring your hands overhead at any point. We're going to inhale to reach up whenever you're ready. This time as we exhale, perhaps bringing your fingertips to your shoulders. Now, this is already a stretch in a few different ways. We're sort of stretching some of our triceps in the back of our arms. We're stretching across our shoulders and our upper back. You may want to stay here. If you're looking for some movement, possibly circling our elbows, maybe finding our range of motion here in our shoulders. And a couple different things you could try if you want. Imagining with our elbows that we're sort of swimming back, so a kind of elbow backstroke circling back. And that could allow you to open a little bit side to side. So once again, exploring that sensation of twisting, opening side to side, noticing how this feels in your shoulders and your upper back. And if you want to start swimming forwards, a kind of elbow freestyle, that may allow for a little bit of rounding forward, maybe even bowing your head, giving a sort of massage to our upper back, under our shoulder blades. If you choose to, you could begin to bring both of your elbows forward, maybe bowing your head. On an inhale, you could open your elbows and extend your arms wide, lifting through your heart, breathing in. And then we're going to exhale our arms slightly back and down. If it feels comfortable, you could hold on to your chair behind you. And if for whatever reason that just doesn't feel good today, you could also reach back for the wall behind you. Wherever you are, we're going to take a lift in our heart, breathing. On your exhale, maybe you sweep your arms forward, crossing one arm over the other, holding onto your shoulders. Sometimes it can feel nice to pause here, maybe bowing your head. We're getting a nice stretch into our shoulders, the back of our neck. If for whatever reason you're feeling that you'd prefer movement right now, you could look forward and then open a little bit side to side. So we've been doing quite a bit of little explorations with spinal twists today. And each one may feel a little different, accessing sort of a different part of your spine, really getting into our upper back here. As you start to come through what feels like center, maybe noticing which arm you've naturally placed on top. So perhaps swapping that out by opening your arms wide to breathe in and exhaling the opposite arm on top. Again, you have that option to pause. You're always welcome to take a moment of stillness here. Maybe you bow your head, letting your elbows rest heavy on your body. It's up to you. So if you're feeling that you want movement, you could look forwards and then maybe allow a little bit of opening side to side. Noticing how you're breathing. You're clenching your jaw. This could be a moment to soften the inside of your mouth. One way to do that is to open and close your mouth. We'll start to come through what feels like neutral. Maybe you open wide to breathe in. Maybe you exhale to turn your palms to face the ground and slowly float your arms down. As we begin to rest our hands on our knees, we're going to send our awareness down into our feet. So I'm going to scoot back a little bit just so you can see what my feet are up to. Maybe you start to lift one heel and then the other, kind of walking out our heels. All sorts of different sensations you may notice here. So you may feel something in your ankles or your feet, the bottoms of your feet or your toes, maybe into your calf muscles or the fronts of your shins, or all of those things, or none of those things. Each of us may feel this a little differently. So possibly inhaling to lift both of your heels off of the ground. As you do that, you have an option of kind of tapping our heels from side to side. What we're doing here is giving a stretch not only to our calf muscles, but into a lot of those sort of stabilizing muscles around our ankles, noticing how they're feeling. And as you begin to bring your ankles towards what feels like neutral, you have the option of lifting one foot and then the other. I like to explore inhaling as I lift up and exhaling as I lower down. You're welcome to try that as well, sort of connecting your breath to your movement. But there's no wrong way to move, right? There's no wrong way to breathe. You get to connect your movement and your breath in a way that feels instinctive or natural to you. You could continue this movement for as long as you'd like. Maybe the next time you're lifting your right knee, if you want to, you could pause here. You could hold on to your leg or the front of your chin. If we're really rounding forward here, I'd love to invite you to explore lifting and lengthening through your spine, breathing in. On an exhale, if you want to, you could explore movement in your right ankle. So sort of circling your foot, maybe even pointing and flexing your foot. And then for a little bit more strengthening, if you'd like, you could flex your right foot and then we're going to sort of shake our foot no. So it's a kind of lateral side to side movement, really strengthening around our ankle. Let's inhale. Maybe you extend your leg forward with your foot flexed, exhaling to land your heel. I'm just going to turn to the side a little bit so you get a sense of what's going on here. You could decide to keep your legs straight. You could also give a little bend to your knee. Either way, inhaling, maybe lengthening up. And as you exhale, you can lean forward any amount. Sometimes it can feel nice to just pause here. You're welcome to stay here for as long as you want. If you're feeling that you want movement, as you inhale, you could lift slightly. And as you exhale, you could come back down. So that with each breath in, we're sort of lifting. And as we exhale, we're coming down. That is a movement you're welcome to try if you'd like. So lifting and lowering. At the bottom of your next exhale, if you'd like, you could come forward. Maybe you pause here. For a bit of that final twist again, you could bring your left hand to your bent left knee and turn your heart to the left. And this may allow your left arm to open up, breathing in. On your exhale, floating your arm back down, we're going to push into our legs, lifting through your heart, reaching up to breathe in. On your exhale, if you want to, you could bring your palms together to your heart, pushing your hands into each other for a moment just to strengthen. And then as we inhale, we'll dive upward, exhaling your arms slowly back and down. Let's go ahead and plant both of our feet. Maybe you bounce that out, lifting one heel and then the other. And then just to sort of soften through your right leg, if you want to, you could lift your leg and just send your foot forwards and back. So your right foot, your right knee may need a moment to soften here, kind of circling your foot, finding a little bit of softness in our knee joint. If you're feeling that you'd like a hip stretch today, one way to do that is to flex your right foot and guide your right ankle up to your knee. Now, this may feel like a good stretch. You're welcome to stay here. If for whatever reason this is not feeling good today, you could also sort of slide your right ankle down so that we're sort of crossing our right ankle on top of our left ankle. Both of those are going to get us a nice stretch into our right hip. Let's inhale to lengthen. As you exhale, if you want to, you could lean forward a bit. Maybe breathing in wherever you are, breathing out. Then on your next inhale, you could come back towards your neutral and exhale to sort of uncross your ankles, again, sort of bouncing out. Before we take that whole sequence on the other side, you may find it useful to widen your stance and come right back to those circles we found at the very beginning of our practice. So just checking in, seeing how you're feeling, deepening your breath. If you're furrowing your brow, this could be a moment to bring some softness between your eyes, your eyebrows. Allowing your inhales to get a little longer, your exhales to feel a little bit more luxurious and extended. And we'll come forward into a gentle forward fold. So leaning forward any amount, maybe you bring your elbows to your knees. You could also continue forward, bringing your hands to your ankles or your feet or the ground between your feet. Wherever you are in your seated forward fold, if you choose to, you could bow your head forward. And what that may do is allow your neck to sort of let go of the weight of your head for a moment. Wherever you are, let's breathe in and breathe out. As slowly as we can, we're going to start bringing our hands to our knees and looking forward. So anytime our head has been below our heart, we want to take our time to come back to neutral. So lifting slowly through your chest, coming back up towards neutral, giving your head plenty of time to make its way back above your heart, your pump. Let's reach up to breathe in. Flailing your hands together to your heart, pushing hand into hand for just a moment. And then inhaling, diving upward. Exhaling your arms slightly back and down. As you rest your hands on your knees, you could heel toe your feet back towards about shoulder distance apart. And maybe you come right back to lifting one foot and then the other. So that may feel useful. A couple options here. So you're welcome to continue to lift and lower your legs. If you'd like to explore a different sensation, you could place your hands on your knees and then lift one foot and then the other. And that may bring some different muscle dynamics into play. So you may feel some strengthening around your hips, maybe into your lower abdominals. Noticing how you're breathing, noticing which of your muscles are sort of supporting you in this movement or activating right now. There's really no rush. So, however you're choosing to move right now, at some point, if you'd like to, you could draw your left knee up towards your body. You could hold on to your shin or to your leg, and maybe we explore lifting and lengthening. So, finding your full spinal height, breathing in. As we exhale, if you choose to, you could circle your left ankle. Always have one ankle that makes more noise than the other. I don't know if y'all can hear that. I think Bryce Crispy treats down there today. Maybe you choose to point and flex your left ankle. And then if you want to, you could flex your foot and sort of shake your foot. No, that kind of lateral movement, strengthening around our ankle. And then we're going to begin to flex our left foot and maybe extend your leg forward, breathing in, exhaling to slowly lower your heel. Now, it's up to you if you want to add a bend in your knee or keep your legs straight. Either way, we're going to inhale to your full spinal height. And as you exhale, maybe you lean forward any amount until you feel a nice stretch in the back of your left leg. Now, staying forward in your stretch, sometimes that's called a static stretch, where we sort of hold a stretch for a while. You're welcome to explore that. If you prefer movement, I'd love to invite you to sort of use your breath. So you could inhale to lift a little bit and then exhale back down. Whether you're moving or exploring some stillness, just noticing how you're breathing. Beautiful. Now, whenever you're ready, we could come forward and bring your right hand to your right knee. So this may allow you to sort of turn to the right. So we're getting into a bit of a twist. If your right arm is interested, you could float it to the side or overhead. Let's breathe in. On your exhale, you could bring your hand back down. And maybe we push into our knees, lifting up, reaching overhead, breathing in. Exhaling your hands together to your heart. Inhaling, diving upward, and exhaling your arms slightly back and down. We'll go ahead and plant our feet. Maybe you bounce your heels out. It may feel more interesting to sort of circle your ankles. And then I find it helpful here to soften a bit in my left knee. So you could lift your left leg and sort of let your foot move forwards and back. So we're exploring a little bit of softness in our knee joint. Maybe there's a circle or two. If you're feeling that you want to hip stretch on this side, possibly flexing your left foot and then sort of guiding your ankle up to your right knee. This may feel nice today. You're welcome to stay here. Or you could also sort of slide your ankle down so we're sort of crossing at the ankle. You're welcome to try both of those and see which feels better for you today. You can also change halfway through. You're never stuck in whatever choice you've made. You can always change the way you're moving depending on what feels best for you. Let's inhale, maybe finding some spinal height. As we exhale, if you choose to, you could lean forward any amount, and that may increase the stretching sensation. Let's breathe in and breathe out. As we inhale, you could slowly come back up towards your neutral, exhaling to sort of uncross your ankles. Maybe we bounce out a little bit. And then one option that you have here is to explore lifting your left heel as you lift the toes of your right foot. And then we could swap that out, lifting your right heel, lifting the toes of your left foot, and sort of going back and forth. It's a little bit like patting your head and rubbing your belly. So just taking a minute, noticing how our feet are feeling, how our ankles feel, our toes. Then we'll start to bring our feet towards stillness whenever you feel ready. Finding some length in your spine, so sitting as tall as feels comfortable for you today. Maybe you begin to slide your left hand back towards your left hip. And as you do that, it may feel instinctive to sort of turn to the left, breathing in. On your exhale, we're going to swap to the other side. So your right hand may come towards your right hip, your left hand towards your left knee, opening to the right. Then we'll sort of continue from side to side, noticing how your body feels as we sweep from one side of our final twist to the other. You're always welcome to inhale to one side and exhale to the other. And if you'd like to, you could keep going from side to side. That's an option. Another option would be to open to the left and we'll sort of stay here. So your right hand could make its way over to your left knee. And then your left hand has so many options. I'm going to turn to the side so you can sort of see what some of the options are. You have your right hand over on your left knee. Your left arm can rest on the back of your chair or on the seat of your chair. You could also bend at the elbow and thread your left forearm behind your back. And that'll sort of bring a stretch into our left shoulder. Sitting as tall as feels comfortable as you breathe in. And as we exhale, maybe you look to the right. So looking past your right shoulder. Let's breathe in. As you exhale, maybe you start to look to the left. So looking past our left shoulder. And you can see sort of which direction feels best for you. We're going to stay in our twist for a few more cycles of breath. Maybe you're looking to the right. Maybe you're looking to the left. You're always welcome to close your eyes. We're going to breathe here. And then on an inhale, we'll start to unwind back towards your center, resting your hands on your knees and maybe giving a little roll out in our shoulders. So sort of rolling one shoulder and then the other in both directions. In order to come towards neutral, you could inhale both shoulders forwards and up, and then exhale them down and back. You could take that once more if you want, bringing them forwards and up as you breathe in, and exhaling them down and back. Maybe drawing your right hand towards your right hip. So we're coming into our twist on the other side. Your left hand could come over to your right knee. And then your right arm, again, could rest on the back of your chair. You could thread your forearm behind your back. It depends what feels supportive for you today. Wherever you are, let's inhale to sit just a little bit taller. And as we exhale, it's possible that you look past your left shoulder. Inhaling wherever you are. And as you exhale, maybe you look past your right shoulder. And from here, you can sort of choose where your head is. We're going to pause in our twist for a few more cycles of breath. Always welcome to close your eyes. Let's inhale our way back towards what feels like center for you. And again, you have that option of sort of rolling out your shoulders. That may feel useful today. If you're ready to come to neutral, you could inhale your shoulders forwards and up and exhale them down and back. Maybe you take that once again, drawing them forwards and up, exhaling down and back. From here, if you want to, you could slide both hands towards your hips. So your elbows may sort of draw back. Maybe there's a lift in your heart, and maybe you lean forward, breathing in. On your exhale, you could round so that our fingertips come towards our knees, rocking back, bowing your head. So that as we inhale, we're lifting through your heart, maybe coming forward, big belly. As you exhale, you could bring your belly button in towards your spine, rounding, bowing your head. So sometimes this is called a spinal wave or a cat and cow stretch. And the idea is really just letting our spine articulate, finding its range of motion, following your breath, becoming aware of any sensations in your lower back or your mid back between your shoulder blades. And you can come back to this movement at any point during your day, just to sort of check in with your spine. You could continue this movement if you'd like, or whenever you're ready, You could come forward, bringing your elbows right back into that forward fold that we found a little earlier in our practice together. Maybe leaning side to side once again. Now, as you shift from side to side in your forward fold, you could continue this movement, or if this is feeling good today, you could bring both hands over to your right knee. So, sort of supporting yourself here and maybe bowing your head towards your right knee. We're sort of deepening the stretch into the left side of our lower back. Let's inhale, pushing into your knee to lift up, and then we'll exhale over to the other side, bringing your hands to your left knee. Maybe you bow your head towards your left knee, which may bring a stretch into the lower side of your body. Right. Let's inhale, pushing into your knee to come through center. And as we exhale, we'll come all the way down into our seated forward fold. So your hands could come to your ankles. You could also bring your elbows to your knees if you prefer. If it's available, you could bring your fingertips or your palms to the ground between your feet. And wherever we are, I'd love to invite you to maybe bow your head forward, maybe rocking side to side or swaying from right to left. As you feel ready, we'll slowly begin to bring our hands to our knees, lifting through your heart, rising up, maybe reaching overhead to breathe in. And on your exhale, perhaps bringing your hands together to your heart. If it feels comfortable, you could interlace your fingers and maybe we circle a little bit in our wrists. So each of us kind of listening and seeing how this feels into our wrist joints today. If you'd like more of a stretch in your wrist joints, you could keep your fingers interlaced and draw your elbows away from each other. Maybe we start to lift one wrist and then the other. So this is getting a stretch sort of into the base of your palm, the back of your wrist. You could continue this movement or perhaps turning your interlaced palms towards your body. We're going to create a circular space in front of us. And then you could start to stir a great big pot. So it could be soup, it could be lemonade, it could be a witch's brew. And you may notice that your torso is sort of circling along with your hands. We want to find some strengthening in our shoulders here. I'd love to invite you to keep a little lift in your elbows. So if your elbows start to drop down, maybe invite them to stay lifted so that we can really strengthen through our arms. And maybe you circle in both directions today. Noticing how you're breathing. Then we'll start to slowly come through center. And if you want to, you could begin to float your interlaced hands overhead. Again, this is already a strengthening sensation in our shoulders and our arms. You could stay here. If it feels interesting, maybe you begin to circle your interlaced hands overhead. Now, the size of these circles is up to you and your shoulders today. We're staying well within what feels comfortable and interesting. We're not pushing into anything that feels pinchy or painful. Maybe you try both of them. As you come through center, you could turn your interlaced palms overhead, releasing your fingers to reach up, breathing in, and exhaling your arms slightly back and down, maybe a little shake out. Now, after all of that strengthening, you may find it useful to bring your left hand up to your right shoulder and just give a little bit of gentle pressure, sort of thanking your arm, maybe all the way down to your wrist. And you could try that on the other side as well, using the strength of your right hand, just giving a little pressure to those muscles, a little self-massage for a moment. Whenever you feel ready, you could inhale to reach all the way up and exhale to pull down through the air in front of you. We'll just take that 2 more times, scooping wide to breathe in and exhale to pull down. One last time, inhaling up and exhaling down. Perhaps resting your hands on your knees, we're going to heel toe out to our widest stance. Ever feels most comfortable today. We'll lean a little bit side to side. Maybe using the support of your forearms as you lean or rock from side to side. I do have one of my gremlins who's home with me today from daycare, so you may see him entering the screen at some point. There we go. Maybe you decide to sweep one arm overhead and then the other. So that may bring a sort of lengthening sensation into the side of your body, almost like we're adding more space in between each of our ribs. Oh, and if you'd like to add a little bit of a twist, if you lean over to the left, you could look up to the sky. And then as you lean to the right, you could look up to the sky as well, keeping that openness across your chest, really lengthening, making ourselves taller, taking your time to begin coming through what feels like center for you. Maybe you reach up to breathe in, exhaling your hands together to your heart, inhaling to dive up, exhaling your arms down. Now, if you want to, you could extend your right leg out and keep a bend in your left knee. Sweetheart, can you find somewhere else to sit, please? Let's go ahead and reach up to breathe in. Then we'll exhale our arms wide, parallel to the ground. So sometimes this is called warrior two, feeling strength forcing through your arms, your feet perhaps pushing into the ground. So our legs are actually active here. Maybe you look past your left shoulder, past your left fingertips, breathing in and breathing out. On an inhale, you could turn your left palm to face the sky, lifting your left arm as you bring your right hand down to your leg. Sometimes this is called reverse warrior. You could look up and into the palm of your left hand as you breathe in. On your exhale, we're going to swap out the arms. So you could bring your left forearm to your bent left knee and your right arm overhead, feeling that lengthening sensation from your left fingers all the way down the side of your body, all the way down to your left toes. Breathing in. On your exhale, we'll slowly come back through what feels like center, extending your arms wide, breathing in, and exhaling your arms down. Taking a moment to plant both feet, you could bounce out your heels. And before we take that on the other side, if you want to, you could turn your toes to point forward with this wide stance and just take a couple circles in each direction. You know, sometimes it can feel useful to combine our torso circles and our spinal wave. So what that may feel like is each time you come back, you could sort of round a little bit. And each time you circle forward, there could be a lift in your heart. Maybe you continue that in each direction, sort of listening into how your spine is feeling today. There's really no rush. So when you feel ready, you could come through what feels like center and reach up to breathe in. Exhaling your hands together to your heart. This time you could extend your left leg, keeping a bend in your right knee, pushing into the ground with both of your feet as you inhale to reach up and exhale your arms wide. Now, if you're noticing that your shoulders are really sneaking up here, this could be a moment to roll your shoulders down, keeping your arms extended and wide. Maybe you look past your right shoulder, past your fingertips off to the horizon, breathing in and breathing out. On an inhale, turning your right palm to face the sky as you lift your right arm, your left hand supporting you on your leg. Maybe you look up and into the palm of your right hand, breathing in. Exhaling here. Maybe one more breath in. As we exhale, you could swap out your arms. So your right forearm could support you on your bent right knee. Your left arm could reach overhead, feeling that sort of lengthening all the way down the side of your body. Let's breathe in and breathe out. Breathing in right where you are. And as you exhale, you could begin to come through what feels like center, breathing in with your arms wide and exhaling your arms down. Possibly planting both feet, heel toe your feet back towards what feels like neutral. Sometimes it can feel nice to bounce out our heels. Maybe you want to lift one foot and then the other. Checking in with how you're breathing, how you're feeling in this moment. Now, whenever you feel ready, you could plant your feet, lengthening up through your spine, breathing in. As we exhale, you could look to the left. And as you inhale, you could look to the right. Sort of noticing what it feels like to look from side to side, any stretching sensations you may feel in the back of your neck. This movement may be sufficient today. This may be what you need, moving side to side. If your neck is asking you for more movement, you could inhale to look to the left. And then as you exhale, maybe you start to roll your chin down and over to the other side. So we could begin to sort of roll our chin from one shoulder down and over to the other shoulder. So it may feel like you're sort of drawing the bottom half of a circle, rolling from side to side. If your neck is asking you for the full circle, you're welcome to take that. I'd love to invite you to explore a movement that feels spacious and open as much as possible, keeping your focus sort of towards the space in front of your body. We're never going to look all the way up at the ceiling. We don't want to crinkle in the back of our neck. Just taking some circular movement in each direction until you feel ready to maybe bow your head. And then you could inhale to look forward. Exhaling your arms down along the side of your body. As we inhale, you could turn your palms to face the sky, taking a lift in your heart. As you exhale, you could rotate your palms to face the wall behind you, rounding your shoulders, bowing your head. So we're sort of closing our practice with this miniature spinal wave, exhaling to turn your palms to the wall behind you as you bow your head, inhaling to rotate your palms open, lifting through your heart, sort of continuing that movement, noticing any sensation in your upper back, your shoulders, possibly all the way down into your forearms or your hands. Whenever you feel ready, we're going to inhale, reaching all the way up. And as you exhale, you could bring your hands together to your heart, pushing palm into palm for just a moment. Inhaling, diving upward, and exhaling your arms slightly back and down. As you start to rock side to side, that same movement we began with, we'll use that side to side movement to start scooting back into the support of our chair. Maybe feeling your back start to rest against whatever the support of your chair is. Maybe you want to extend one leg and then the other. Maybe you decide to stretch your arms overhead, taking one last great big stretch, breathing in. And exhaling as you float your hands down to rest comfortably on your legs, letting your big Buddha belly soften. Maybe your eyes close. And in this moment, it's possible that you feel any facial expression you've been holding today melt off of your face so that your forehead softens, your eyes soften, close. The muscles of your cheeks and your jaw start to rest. You may feel your shoulders melt down away from your ears as your arms get heavy, your legs comfy, your belly soft, your breathing gentle and natural. We'll take about a minute here to rest, using this stillness as a time to absorb the benefits of our shared practice together. And after about a minute, I'll bring us back with the sound of my voice. All you need to do right now is rest and breathe. slowly beginning to deepen your breathing in some way. Honoring your body and your experience by finding whatever little movement your body is asking you for. That may be movements in your feet or your fingers or your toes or your ankles or your hands or your wrists. You may want to take a great big stretch again. Or you may find that there's some other little movement your body needs right now. If it feels useful to you, you could bring one hand over the other, over your heart, as you find a little bit of length in your spine. Taking a moment for yourself just to notice any changes in how you feel since the beginning of our practice together. Maybe blinking your eyes open, maybe reaching up to breathe in, possibly exhaling your hands together to your heart. Peace and light from my heart to yours. Thank you all so much for sharing this practice with me. It's such an honor to get to be a part of this community. If you'd like to unmute and sort of share how you're feeling or any questions you may have, I'd love to hear from you.
Just wanted to say thank you. It's great. Have a nice weekend to everybody.
Oh, great, Pamela. I'm glad to hear you liked it.
Thank you.
My arms and legs and hands feel fizzy.
Ooh, fizzy good? Fizzy.
Yes, like they're sparkling water.
Oh, good. Nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
this was a good experience.
Oh, I'm glad to hear it, Annette. Let's see. Oh, Miss Chloe says, blessings to you. Good to see your little one. Yeah, that's Lars. His daycare texted this morning and said, remember, we're closed today. And I was like, oh, why? So
You
he's
kept
my
us going. That's okay.
Sonia says these sessions are the highlight of my week. Oh, that's so great to hear. Tina says this is my first class with me. Oh, great. I enjoyed the flow chair version. I'm glad you enjoyed it, Tina. Thanks, Linda, for a great workout. Awesome.
Thank you so much. I enjoyed the session and I feel better now than when I started. So that's good.
Ah, that's great, Francis. I agree. I also I feel so nourished by this community. There's something about knowing that we're all practicing at the same time, scattered all over the country. It really brings a lot of light to my heart. So thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye, Francis. Okay, sweetie. Come here. Come say bye-bye.
Bye.
Say bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay.